What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Goods, and you know what time it is. It's Startem, Sitem, Tradeem, where we give you three options, and out of those three options, you gotta start one, you gotta sit one, and you gotta trade one. And as always, I'm Ben Barcelona, and this is my motherfucking guest host, Tim Serber.
Hello all. Thanks for having me, Ben.
No problem, man. Now this episode of Startem Sim Train, we're gonna do a little bit different since the trade deadline is coming up for most all fantasy leagues. You know, we're gonna talk about who you should start, sit, and trade for the rest of the season. If you get my drift, you know, just take it with a grain of salt. Put it that way. All right, so let's get up to our first candidate. Cue the music. All right, we got. For the wide receiver margins, we have Chase Claypool, we have Justin Jefferson, and we have T. Higgins. Start one, sit one, trade.
Okay, I think the obvious sit here is going to go to Chase Claypool. Again, we're doing this more for a season-long, perspective on your start-sit trades. But yeah, there's no Ben Roethlisberger this week. We don't know how long it's going to last. He's got the COVID-19, so I'm off the bat going to sit Chase Claypool. I'd like to trade Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson has a lot of high self factor because he's got a lot of points because he had a few games where he put like 30 points up or something. Yeah. Like that. That's basically what he's holding on to. But he is fairly consistent. But if you're hurting for running backs or just anything really, I think you can pull off a pretty decent trade using him, Justin Jefferson. And then I'm gonna start T. Higgins. He's a Clemson boy. I'm a Buckeyes fan, but I love me some Clemson too, and he's balling out, man. Joe Burrow's over there doing his thing. I like the rookie-to-rookie connection. Just also, don't forget Tyler Boyd is also balling out on that team. But I'm definitely going to go with the start for T. Higgins.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sit Claypool because, Big Ben getting COVID, he might miss a couple games, so I would sit him. I don't know who's going to be at the helm as of right now, but Justin Jefferson, he's getting big splashes here and there. That's why he's so high in the rankings, but lately he hasn't been producing as much as everybody wants to. So I would try to trade him, probably get like an RB2 if you really need that running back depth for the playoffs upcoming, especially if you're making the playoffs. And then T. Higgins, I'm going to start because he's been the most consistent out of all of them. He's going to guarantee you at least between that 10 to 18 point margin, maybe even more if he's having a balling day, depending on who they throw the ball to, either Tyler Boyd or him, because I haven't seen A.J. Green doing jack big.
And that's sad. Everyone wants to love A.J. Green. He's just not himself right now. Maybe a new scene. Yeah,
maybe on a different team. He might step out. But, let's go on to our next one.
So, we're going to do running backs next. So, cue the music. We got Antonio Gibson from the Washington football team. Then we got DeAndre Swift, Detroit Lions. We got Ronald Jones II from Tampa Bay. Now, cue the music.
All right. I'm going to trade Rojo. I don't know how many times I've said this. I don't like Rojo. I never thought that he was that consistent running back. So I'm just going to trade him. I'm going to see if I can get a nice flex for him. That's me personally. I just don't like him. I believe Leonard Fournette is going to be that solid running back there. They've showed that the last couple games too. I'm going to start DeAndre Swift. I love the PPR points this guy gives you, and I don't want to say he's emerging, but he's definitely putting up those projected points, especially for everybody that drafted him pretty late. And then Antonio Gibson, I am going to sit. This is a team that plays catch up a lot. But they like to run the ball. But McKissick is the pass catching back, and he's been getting points lately. But I'm gonna hold on to Gibson because I believe that he will have those games where he puts up a good amount of points.
Yeah. So this is where our first disagreement comes in, Ben. I'll go in the same order you did. Ronald Jones II. I'm gonna go with. I'd like to sit him. The past two games, he hasn't even broken 10 points. My rule of thumb for any player is, if you get me 10 points, I'm all right with it. I'll consider that a win for you on the day. Rojo, they're splitting the carries, and I think you told me earlier that Fournette basically outsnapped in the past 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and sit Ronald Jones. I'm going to trade DeAndre Swift. If you look at his points, they give you a little eye pop because he's breaking 10 points and stuff. So if anyone else sees that, they're like, you know what? He's looking like he's balling out, but he's more of a receiving back, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like, which brings me to the next guy, Antonio Gibson. He's basically going against McKissick, who is also a receiving back.
Yeah.
But I like Antonio Gibson, which is a biased opinion because he's on my current fantasy team. And I just think he's going to guarantee you a goal line. Like, he gets the goal line touches. I think he's going to guarantee you a touchdown at least every game. So, for me, that's worth a start.
See, I like that, but the reason why I lean towards Swift more is because now that Galladay's out, that's more targets. True. You know, that's the way I looked at it, at least. But either way, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get into the quarterbacks. These are some quarterbacks that are not really top 10, top 12 quarterbacks right now, but they are somewhat emerging. So, cue the music. All right, so in the first spot, we have Tua Tagovailoa. We have Teddy Bridgewater. And we have Justin Herbert. Start one, sit one, trade one.
All right, so let's go with my sit first. I'm going to sit Teddy Bridgewater. He's top 5. I think he's actually in the 5th spot currently for passing yards on the year. I think I'm a Panthers fan, let that be known. So it's probably odd I'm not choosing to start him. But I love Teddy Bridgewater, but I'm going to sit him this week going against Tampa Bay. They came off a really bad loss, 38-3, 31-0 at half. Tampa Bay is going to be focusing on their passing game this year. This week. And I feel like they got our number this year for some reason. Their secondary always steps up against us, even though they only played once. I just think Tampa Bay is on the verge of a major bounce back game, and I think they're going to shut down Teddy Bridgewater. I'm going to trade Tua because I think he has a lot of upside right now. He's shown a lot of promise. He's got the team's developing all around him. The team seems to be playing a little better with them. So I think you can get a little surprise trade out of him because he's got a good future as far as the season going ahead looks. And I'm gonna go with starting Mr. Justin Herbert, who's been balling out in my opinion. That's very much. I'm gonna keep it at that. He's just balling out. He's putting up mad points, and I love his matchup, and I think he's gonna keep it up. He's a stud.
You know what? The more I look at this matchup, the more I change my mind about stuff. One, I'm going to sit Tua, just for the fact that, you know, there's always that one quarterback that emerges every year. Last year was Lamar Jackson. As you can see, this guy right here. No one really drafted him. No one knew he was coming out of the woodwork until like week 2, week 3, and then everybody was like, holy shit, it's Jackson, Action Jackson. You know, this Tua kid can do the exact same thing. You know, I'm not saying that he will, but he's definitely worth the roster spot, just in case if he starts balling out during playoffs. If they make a playoff run for that last wild card, you know, they can push it. You can see what he can do. I am going to trade Teddy Bridgewater just for the fact that CMC is out again with, I believe, a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And they're facing Tampa Bay, which is a pretty decent defense. You know, even though he's fifth in passing yards as we speak right now, just like Tim said, I believe that's a selling point. That if someone needs a quarterback desperately, you could probably get a good flex for it. Like, yo, he's 5th in passing yards. He's going to get you some points. It's not like he's getting you 9 points, 8 points. He's going to get you at least 15, between 15 and 20 points.
Yeah, I was almost going to put Chetty in the trade portion as well, but yeah. I stuck with my Tua trade.
Yeah, and then I'm going to start Justin Herbert. Like you said, he's been balling. Straight up balling.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, I like Herbert, you know? Yeah.
All right, so next up we got some tight ends, so cue the music. We got Jimmy Graham from the Bears, Evan Ingram from the Giants, and we got Rob Gronkowski on Tampa Bay.
Oh, man. I'm going to trade Gronk. I just got to trade Gronk. I don't trust Gronk. I know a lot of people, especially Josh. Josh, you're probably going to be watching this video, and you'd be like, oh, you're crazy. I don't like Gronk. I don't like him. He's too old, and there's so many weapons over there. You know, you can't guarantee that. Maybe he'll get those red zone targets. If you're lucky, maybe a touchdown and maybe 2 catches. That's if you're lucky. You know, they got Antonio Brown now. They got Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin. You know, Leonard Fournette, Rojo, so on, so forth. And the defense is nasty. The defense is nasty, too. I just don't like... I'm not a big fan of Gronk, so I'm going to trade him. I'm going to find someone that likes Gronk, and I'm going to trade him. I am going to start Evan Ingram. I hate saying it, but out of these three, I just feel like Evan Ingram is going to get targeted the most because the Giants don't really have that many weapons. And I don't really like Daniel Jones that much, but he's panicking really quick and he's throwing him short right to the tight end.
Lots of turnovers, that guy.
Yeah, lots of turnovers, but what comes turnovers comes more throwing the ball, and Evan Ingram's there. So I think I'm going to start Ingram, and I'm going to hold on to Jimmy Graham because that's another guy who's been, doing fairly well for a team that's, surprisingly a good offense this year. Nick Foles has been stepping it up. And the wide receiver core is a little bit shaky besides Allen Robinson. But you got Mooney stepping it up. You got Gabriel stepping it up. You got Jimmy Graham stepping it up. So I would like to continue holding on to Jimmy Graham also.
All right, so I'm going to disagree a little bit with you, Ben. But I do like what you did with your picks. Rob Gronkowski, I'm going to go with just sit him this week. I think he's always, as long as he's got Tom Brady throwing the ball, there's that wow factor there. There's that possibility for almost guaranteed touchdown every game. However, that's not happening currently. I know his numbers aren't that great, but I feel like I would hold on to Gronkowski if I had him on my team. Okay. And now we're going next to Evan Ingram. Start the hell out of him. He's basically their best weapon on offense, even though, like you said, Daniel Jones is pretty non-consistent, throws a lot of turnovers. But if he shows up to the game, I'm talking about Daniel Jones shows up to this game and he's ready to throw that ball and just stares at Evan Ingram the whole game, which he should if I was on his team because that's all he got.
Mismatch.
Yeah. Plus they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles this week, right? Philly, I believe it's Philly. I think it's gonna be a good game, and I think he's gonna guarantee at least a touchdown, probably 5 catches and some yards.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham, trade him. He's got a couple points you can use to your advantage to get rid of. I don't trust Jimmy Graham. I'm judging a little bit off last year, but if you got him, get rid of him if you can.
See, the way I looked at it is you can get more trade for Rob Gronkowski because it's Rob Gronkowski. I'm not going to trade you, hey, I got Jimmy Graham. No, he's going to be like, I don't really want Jimmy Graham.
More of a package deal. He'll be like the more, probably like a better portion of half of that selling point.
Yeah. Like I said, I can see where you're coming from, but me, like I said, I would definitely trade Rob Gronkowski. Right. That's just me. He's going to get hurt. I have a feeling he's just going to get hurt. He's always injury prone.
Oh, he's like his body's 150 years old.
Yeah,
that's probably inevitable. But
it's like dog years.
He's hanging in there.
All right, now we're gonna get into flex positions. You ready for this, Tim?
I'm ready.
Cue the music. All right, we have Marvin Jones Jr. We have Darius Slayton and Christian Kirk. Start one, sit one, trade one.
All right. I'll start. I'll go in order. I'll do Marvin Jones Jr. I'm going to trade him. As we said, the trade deadlines are coming up. He's got some consistent games on his belt so far. I like what he's doing. There's no Galladay, right?
Yeah, no Galladay.
So he's going to be getting points. If you have the... if you're even in a position to trade for another position, like if you need a running back, I think you can definitely get at least a 2 for Marvin Jones Jr. So I'm gonna go with trade him. I'm gonna sit Mr. Darius Slayton. Mentioned before, I can't trust him. He's not too consistent. If he doesn't score your touchdown, he's not gonna do anything for you. That's simply put. I don't need to really elaborate much more on that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start the hell out of Christian Kirk. I think he's had like 2 or 3 20-point games in the past 3 or 4 games. So
he's been balling.
Yeah, he's got a touchdown in each one of those in the past few games too. He's gradually gotten better, and I love what Kyler Murray's doing. He can hang with the best of them as far as slinging a gunslinging battle.
I definitely agree with you. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to sit Marvin Jones. I'm going to sit Marvin Jones just for the fact he is the number 1 target on the Detroit Lions with a Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's there. It wasn't like last year when he wasn't there. He's there. And Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback.
Oh, I love him.
So I'm going to stick with Marvin Jones on my bench, because just in case if I want to switch back and forth, if he has another good game, start his ass. Darius Slayton, I'm trading you. I don't want anything part of the Giants if you're not a tight end, maybe a wide receiver. I mean, you're a touchdown guy. You need a touchdown to put up points. It's been showing lately. You got 2 points, 4 points. It's not cutting it. I'm trading you for what I can right now. People looking at him as a wide receiver 3. I could probably get a good, nice flex for him, a nice running back 3 for him if I'm looking that heavy, because like I said, playoffs are coming. You need that depth, and Darius Slayton ain't cutting it right now. Plus, Danny Dimes is garbage.
He's not Danny Dimes, basically.
Yeah, no, he's Danny Nichols.
Danny Pennies.
Danny Pennies. And then I'm gonna start Christian Kirk. You know, Christian Kirk has been balling, and he's on a little hot streak right now. So why not go with the hot streak?
Exactly.
You know, that's the way I look at it. All right, let's go on with our next one.
All right, we're just going to do an additional flex position here. Cue the music. We got Leonard Fournette, Tampa Bay. We got Mike Davis from Carolina, and we got Melvin Gordon on Denver. So let's just address the start here. We mentioned earlier, there's no Christian McCaffrey this week. Mike Davis is your guy. Start the hell out of him. That's it. Just start him. He's gonna get you points. When McCaffrey was out, he was balling out. It's a safe bet to just start Mike Davis. Melvin Gordon. You know what? I think I'm gonna sit him. I'll just sit him. You know. I don't have faith in him for this week. But you could hold on to him. I want to trade Fournette, which call me crazy. I should probably be doing this another way around. I should probably be sitting Fournette and trading Gordon because you want to keep Fournette. But Fournette is your last hope of getting your playoff push players. I just think they're splitting it's kind of a running back committee, even though he's been taken over. I think you can sell him real high and and solidify your team.
Okay. I'm going to start Mike Davis. Like he said, Christian McCaffrey's out. Plug him in. You'd be stupid not to. You know, let's put it that way.
Exactly.
I am going to sit Leonard Fournette. I'm going to sit Leonard Fournette just for the fact it's Leonard Fournette. I know what he's capable of, and I believe that Leonard Fournette is a better running back than Melvin Gordon. That's just my opinion. Okay?
I agree. Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, and, no, I'm not going by last game, but Tampa Bay can push the ball. And if they get in the three red zone, 3 yard, 2 yard, you know who that ball's going to.
And I'm going to contradict myself, but the last time Fournette played the Panthers, he killed it and won the game-winning touchdowns.
Yep. So, right there.
Another reason to trade him high, just saying.
Yeah, and then I'm going to trade Melvin Gordon. They play catch-up a lot. I could see Phillip Lindsay taking that back roll, catching those balls. I don't like Melvin Gordon, how he's producing right now. And everybody can see him as a RB2, low RB2 flex. I'm trying to get a good tight end for him. I can try to get a mid-range tight end. Definitely a between 5 and 10 ranked tight end for him. I feel like I can definitely get that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I just couldn't figure it out how to get it from here and out there. But yeah,
that happens
well
sometimes.
said, buddy.
Yeah. But alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for Startem, Sitem, Tradeem. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions for your fantasy league, let us know. We're always happy to answer any comments. We are the Fantasy Goods, and we got the goods.